Let me fix this. So at least so far, it's just Dan and I tonight, guys. Welcome to the Thin Line Defense Co. live chat. I got Dan from Dynamic Principles. What's up, buddy?
What's up?
There we go. That looks a little better. I don't know where anyone else is. I knew Walsh wasn't going to be on. Cody, I'm not sure. I bet you they're eating dinner right now. No, it's late for them. Maybe not. And so they're probably like watching TV and they're getting an alert that we just went live and they're like, oh crap. That's what I guess is happening.
Be here in a few minutes.
Yeah. Welcome everyone. Good to have you here. We got a bunch of pre-gamers in here. Tactical Gear
in here talking crap.
No, they couldn't hear us though. We were kind of we were like,
no, I'm saying they are, not us.
Oh yeah,
we were very well behaved.
Yes, Double Spirit, what's up, dude? Yeah. So is it? Dan and I were talking plates. Your favorite libertarian says, "It's all right, Jason. I'm here. You can start now." Good to see you, bud. We were talking plates in I always call it the green room. In the back room before we went live.
It's like the staging area.
Yeah, the staging area. There you go.
Yeah.
And both of us, I think we were getting into it. I was like, oh, dude, it's like time. I got to go live now. So here we are. Yeah. I will say, I knew Walsh wasn't going to be on. Walsh is like so far behind on videos, and it's his own fault. I 100% blame him. That I guess he turned off his phone for a whole day and like turned it back on and he had 20 missed text messages and he just turned his phone off again. He's like, nah, I can't deal with that right now.
It's like I'm out.
Yeah. Garen Wilson, look at that epic beard, Dan.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah.
This is I need to go to the barber beard. Like this is it's been a little bit too long and like we're leaving that like groomed beard stage and we're heading into like the biblical stage where we're going to be like parting seas and stuff pretty soon.
I remember being there when COVID first kicked off. You know, I was like letting my hair grow and I was letting my beard grow and I was like, I'm not gonna get a haircut or shave until like everything's back to normal. And then after like 2 months, I'm like, I can't do this anymore. Like we're not going back to normal for a long time. So
I'm out. The beard life isn't for me.
Yeah, I better go get a haircut. Well, and my wife hates the beard.
My wife, I think, tolerates it. I think that's probably as good as you can hope for. I don't know if it gets better than that. Because it's objectively worse. Like it's objectively worse for them. I will say that. I will admit that. If she asks, I will deny. But but I believe it. What's funny is I actually like for my work and stuff that I did in New York before we moved to Tennessee, like I had to keep a clean shaven face. And so like I didn't ever have a beard until we moved to Tennessee. And then it was like, as soon as we moved to Tennessee, I started growing one. And so I have like, sometimes I go home and I'll see people I haven't seen in a long time. And they're like, when did you grow a beard? And so like I have this entire group of people that only know me for my entire life where I didn't have a beard. And then everybody who I know here in Tennessee only knows me with a beard. And there is no in between. It's like they're just like separate chapters of my life that have their own like distinct boxes that they have to stay in.
Rebel Spirit says, tell your wife to man up. Boys in the field love it.
It's true. The all my homies love my beard, so that's what I tell her. I'm like, listen, it's not about you. It's about the boys.
Speaking of, let's get Joe on here. I don't know why this isn't. There we go. Add the scene. Joe's here. Hi,
what
Joe.
Up? Hey.
What up?
Hi. What's going on?
He got the live notification. He's in.
Yeah.
I was joking. I was like, I bet you they were like watching TV or something, and then their phone said TLD is live, and they were like, "Oh crap!"
Not exactly, but I did get the notification. I'm like, man, I am running late. But
we're talking about beards and how Dan has an epic beard.
I don't have epic.
Your favorite
Where's
libertarian?
Cody with his, dude? Cody is like a lion's mane.
Yeah. But he's bald.
Yes.
Your favorite
Yeah.
libertarian says, I had that group of non-beard people too until I went to my high school reunion. No shield gun reviews. Does Joe have a channel? Yes, he does.
Yes.
Oh man, Shadow Man with a $20 super chat. He had posted earlier that he had 210 hours of overtime.
Dang. Was it tax free, bro?
That's wild.
Oh yeah, it's supposed to be tax free, right?
I don't know. I don't know if that went in effect yet, if they're still doing it. I don't know. That's what I'm asking.
We used to joke. So Dan, Shadow Man would come in almost weekly and give us a super chat, and then he got married, and we were like, that's gonna go away, man. Like,
That's it.
Yeah. The whole time
You had a good run.
Yeah. Whole time you're engaged, like, hey, don't let her see that. Like, you better quit that. She's gonna see that out of your account.
Shadow Man, we got him a wedding gift. He sent us his wedding registry, and we didn't like anything that was on it, so we sent him a bug assault.
It was so trash.
And
Like,
put the
what was
note
on
on,
that?
like all your gifts in your wedding registry suck, so we got you something cool.
You could tell that if Beyonce picked them all out, like they're
Right.
girly, you know.
Yeah, we're not gonna pick out the stuff that you're.
Yeah, we're like, we're not buying any of that. That's crap.
Yeah, like what are those plates that you would put down, and then you like actually set the dinner plate on top of it?
Oh, they're
You know,
like chargers or something like that. It's some weird name.
Yeah, it's like
it's a charger,
plate.
right?
Is that I don't know, but it's like a decorative plate. You just don't eat off of it. They had stuff like that. Laundry baskets to separate your coloreds from your denims and your whites. Like, who does that?
Yeah, it was weird, dude.
Who washes their clothes that way?
Yeah. He's probably like typing right now, like, shut up, she's sitting right here. You guys, you're going to ruin this for me. I'm never going to be able to watch it again.
You know who else got married recently? We had at least two that have told us about it. So Shadowman got married recently, and then Tactical Java got married recently.
Silly. I mean, congratulations. Yeah. I saw the RC. Sorry, go ahead.
He said, the first time I got married, we had a registry. I added Nerf guns to it. RC time with Joe and friends finally started.
Yeah, so I don't have it all set up. They're right here, but I don't have anything set up. So give me a break for this time because we have a guest. I don't want to show my butt in front of our guest. But next week, it's on. I'll have all this set up. Excuse me.
So
Dan, we'll do it next week.
Joe bought these RC rock crawlers, and the last few live chats, he set up like a rock crawling course on his desk, and he just turned his camera to that. So as we were talking, it was just him seeing how good the rock crawlers would do.
Yes, and that tells us that just a remote control truck going over the same terrain for an hour and a half nonstop is more entertaining than we are.
I mean, Shadowman gave us another super chat, $5 super chat, and he says, Uncle Sam took 1,500, and I still use that bug gun. I love it.
Yes. Well, too bad on the taxing the overtime, but yeah.
I think it's a byproduct of like the Zoomer generation, right? Where they need to have like the video running in the background while they're listening to shit. They can't just pay attention to.
Yeah.
So you're just attracting all the youngins, you know.
What are we, Jason? I'm a millennial, even though millennials go from like
83 or something.
81? I think 81 to 96, which is absolutely ridiculous because people born in I was born in 83. I'll show my age. I don't care. I was born in 83. I have a sister born in the 90s, right? We have nothing in common because we were born in a different generation. I grew up watching USA cartoons every Saturday morning, right? The "We'll be right back" guy. She grew up with Cartoon Network. We grew up with Atari. They grew up with iPhones.
Yeah.
Look at this. AR Drew 479 says, "I'm an 81 millennial and I cannot relate to 90s kids."
Right.
Yeah, Joe, I'm with you. So my younger brother was born. So I'm 85. He's 87, and we are completely different.
Yeah.
Like I left, joined the military. I went and got a job, got married, had kids, and he lived at home until like 3 years ago.
Good for him. So you're saying he ain't excelling at life and you're struggling. Got it.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, I'm like that. I don't have to be fidgeting or I've gotten that way. Dude, I've gotten so bad that some of the shorts are too long. Like, dude, I'll be flipping through Instagram and it's like, get to the point already or I'm changing. I'm going to the next one. It's like, really, dude? You've been watching that for 3 seconds.
Like,
Oh,
ain't
you're
nobody
taking
got time
too
for
long.
that. Harry, I'm older than Jason. Dude, you're an accountant. That adds 10 years already.
Right.
So I did want to take a few minutes. I don't know if Dan, I don't know if Walsh had filled you in on his suppressor drama.
Oh yeah. I've
Um,
heard some of the, and I watched the video on it, which is funny.
Awesome.
So there was an update. And he didn't say not to share this. So if I'm not supposed to, like, oh well.
You got the spicy deets.
But the FFL still has the suppressors, and emailed one of the companies back and told them that he's going to Form 3 the suppressor back to them, but his justification was that Walsh never reached out to process the suppressors, right?
That's not what he said.
What do you say?
Refused
Oh yeah, he
to pick
refused.
them up.
Yep.
Yeah, I just assumed that dude would have just ghosted by now instead of like carrying on the facade that's happening. It's like the longer that this goes on, the less I think I understand what the motivation of this person is and why they're continuing to do this. Because like there was a period of time where I was like, oh yeah, this seems pretty cut and dry. That like they either are probably just trying to resell the cans out,
right,
and just pocket the cash or whatever. But if that was the case, like he would just ghost everybody and just be in like, why even bother,
right.
keeping up the facade.
Well, yeah, and then it was weird too that Walsh showed like the text messages with the guy, like, okay, when can I come and do this? Oh,
Right,
well, I'm doing
right.
this. And then for him to send that email and like, no, Walsh refused to start the process.
That's
I think
wild.
was what it was.
Yeah. What he doesn't realize is the CEO of the company watched the entire video. So best of luck to you, buddy.
Yeah, and it just goes to show you that like you can try to do the right thing for people every single day, but not everybody's going to share your values. And there are a lot of people out there who are just willing to just whatever, just say or do whatever and lie and be like, oh yeah, I tried several times to get the cans to Walsh. He just won't show up and pick them up. And he said, no, I don't want them anymore. And it's like, bro, what?
Who does that, dude? Who does that? Like,
right.
Everybody that buys a gun, everybody in here knows you're just like me. You watch the tracking. Like,
sure.
And in the meantime, while you're watching that thing ship across the United States, you're watching every YouTube video known to man. Even though you've already bought it, it's like, oh no, I've made a terrible decision, but it's already on its way, or yes, I made a great decision. You're watching every YouTube video that's ever been created on that item, and you're watching it ship across the United States.
Yeah.
Michael Farley said, my biggest issue with this, aside from the theft, is that the ATF isn't doing anything about it. Like, that's the shit they should actually be doing something about, but nope.
Yeah.
Well, their tushy probably hurts because it got whooped this week, and I'm so stoked to talk about 2A News this week, dude. This is the most excited I've ever been for 2A News. Oh, I'm so excited.
We got a long ways to go to get there.
I know, dude.
076 says, I'm old. That's just a fact. I don't feel as old as I am, though.
That's good.
My daughter, so I have a 16-year-old, and her and her boyfriend had broken up. And, my wife and I are talking about how to cope. And she says, you wouldn't understand. You were born in the late 1900s. And I was like, well, that's true, but that really stings.
Yeah. And what, did we not date back then?
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
You wouldn't understand. I know, because back then we just clubbed our women and drug them to the house. Like, your mom had no choice. Sorry.
Bailey Luke says, I'm extremely patient when waiting for my guns until I get a tracking number.
True. Dude, my local FFL has a policy that, like, they're like, don't call us. Like, if your package says it was delivered to our doors, cool. Don't just show up. We'll send you an email as soon as we processed it, because they intake like hundreds of guns. And so
Yeah.
just because UPS brought it doesn't mean that they have gotten to it and cataloged it and are ready for you to come pick it up. So they were like, yeah, nah, don't, like, wait. Well, as soon as we catalog it, you're gonna get an automated email, and then you can come pick it up. But like, don't show up before then, because like you're just gonna be sitting around waiting inside until that happens.
Dude,
Yeah.
I really like my FFL, the way they do it. When package arrives, they tell you to do this. So package arrives, and they want you to show up. They don't open it or anything. They have a room that all the packages go to. And you come in and you say, last 6 of my tracking number is this. They go, they open it in front of you. Is this what you ordered? Okay. Then they put it on their their paperwork, and then they start the transfer process.
Yeah.
No, that's cool.
That's a cool way to
Dude,
do it.
I like Bailey. I'm going to start adapting that.
What's
Even
that?
if only, like, he said, if I'm shipping a $7,000 custom handgun, I'm showing up before the gun. Like, yes.
That's fair.
Oh, it's due on Thursday? Guess I'm getting my lawn chair and taking the day off. But that's how ridiculous it is. Like, who has ever refused to go and get the thing that they were jonesing to get? You know what I mean?
Like,
Especially
was
a
already paid
suppressor.
for. Like,
Yeah. Who would believe that?
The idea that somebody would not go pick up something that they've already paid for is so nuts. Like, on its face, just so dumb. Like, the fact that anybody could make that argument with a straight face
Right.
is ridiculous.
He must have got it, like, speaking cues from, like, AOC. Like, okay, Pelosi, calm down.
Yeah.
That's
that's
his new nickname from here on out, dude. I'm just letting you know.
the FFL?
Yeah, the
Pelosi?
FFL now Pelosi, dude.
So we just had a huge group of people join. So we were talking about the FFL stealing Walsh's suppressor. We had an update that the FFL sent an email to one of the suppressor companies saying that they still have it. They're going to Form 3 it back to the suppressor company, and their reasoning was that Walsh refused the suppressor.
Yeah, refused to come pick it up.
They were trying to get it to him, but that Walsh was the one that refused. So that's why we were saying, like, how ridiculous is that you pay for a suppressor, this thing sometimes you've been waiting, weeks or months for, and then you're just going to be like, no, I'm not coming to get it.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. Anything out of Pelosi mouth. So now from here on out, the FFL dubbed Pelosi.
Yeah.
Or maybe we should change it up a little bit so people don't get confused. Pelosi.
That sounds like the German police.
Police, right. That works, dude.
What'd you guys think about? It was a video that had a crazy amount of comments, like 500 comments, and a vast majority of them were telling Walsh that he should have called out the FFL. He should have named the FFL. What do you think?
I think he did a good. I think he did a good job explaining that up front. That he toyed with it, but there is that side, dude. And people are like, he can't do anything to you. Bull crap, dude. Slander a thing, and anybody can sue anybody for any reason, right? And I don't care if you're just suing them in small claims court. Walsh is going to have to get a lawyer, right? And that's going to come out of his pocket. Oh, well, you could countersue for your lawyer fees. Do you want to go through that? Do you really? Especially a small town type and not a franchise.
Yeah.
But then again, the top pinned comment is the FFL. So I don't think that anybody has a leg to stand on if they would have just read the very first comment before running their mouth.
Well, and it was, so I, maybe it's because of my job, I don't know, but I was watching the video, I paused it, some of the screenshots that Walsh had put up, and he tried blocking stuff out, but I just pulled a couple key pieces of information, and I went onto Google and I typed those words in the search bar, and his FFL was the first thing that popped up. So I'm like, it's not too hard to figure out who it was.
Yeah, I think Walsh is trying to see YA, right? And that's his choice. And anybody that chooses that, then that's your choice. And
yeah,
if you don't like it, I'm sorry, we're not. But Walsh also in the business of what, like, I hated one comment. I almost commented on it, and then I just deleted it and moved on with my life. But it was like, you lose credibility by not naming the FFL. I was like, and we care if you believe him. Why? Like, nobody cares if you believe him.
Yeah. Zach Vet has a great comment. Hey, for the new people, who is Dan? I forgot to introduce Dan. Dan, we've had you on the show before. I call it a show. It kind of is a show.
It's a show.
But for those that are new, can you give a little bit of a background of who you are, your company, what it is that you geek out about?
Nah. No, I'm just kidding.
I love it. Right, so, next question.
Perfect, because Josh says Dan has no deck, and then Zach says they don't have decks in Tennessee.
Pretty pushy for the deck picks, and like I'm gonna be honest, I'm not in the habit of sending out unsolicited deck picks. So like we should at least like buy me dinner and like maybe you'll get some deck picks,
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm Dan. I'm the owner of Dynamic Principles. We make like plate carriers and LB and tactical gear type stuff. Predominantly for like a vast majority of our customer base is just people, is just civilians that are just buying stuff off from our website. But we also sell to government agencies, and mainly like most of that is usually law enforcement agencies that are outfitting their people for and just trying to get them stuff that doesn't suck. Because the vast majority of stuff that gets bought for law enforcement agencies is either from China or some other place that is not in the United States. So yeah, but yeah, and I nerd out on mainly gear. I mean, that's really what I do. I know that's kind of gay, but like that's I've been into it for a long time. It's probably around when I was 15, 16 years old is when I got my first plate carrier, and I've been messing with it since then. So there's a long time where I was just like modifying my own stuff and purchasing stuff, and then if trying to make it perfect, purchasing something and then it was like it was so close to being perfect, like if it just did this or did that it would be perfect, and then inevitably moving on and to the next best thing, and eventually you do that enough, you get to a point where you're like, fuck it, I'm just gonna make my own stuff, and that's what we're doing now. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Bailey said Dan is a guy who likes to talk about plates for 30 minutes. We just spent a lot 30 minutes.
I could 30 minutes is nothing, homie. Like you want to talk about plates, we can talk about plates for hours.
So before we started, I had brought up to Dan that I saw an ad for a contract overrun plate that this website, a Ukrainian contract overrun plate that this website was selling, and he knew the manufacturer of the plate, the model of the plate. He knew like just
about the plate.
Started griping about the plate. Hey, that's a great company, but this is why I don't like that plate. I had to cut him off. Like, dude, we got to go live.
But yeah, Dan, you got to stop talking. Like we gotta turn the cameras on.
Like we were running the intro, and I'm like, hey, we're going live. FYI. Josh says, as head of HR, we will need signed Polaroid feet pics. Don't listen to him. Did you see?
So we've gone.
He is head of HR, though.
We've gone straight from decks to feet, so the man knows what he likes. I'm okay with that.
I was dying with those comments. I was keeping it in, but I was dying. We have the best viewers in the world.
076 says, so Dan, what do you think of UHMW plates? Pros, cons?
Oh man, I don't think you want to open this can of worms, man.
We'll talk about anything and everything. We spent an entire live chat talking about cars. Like whenever Walsh isn't here, we have.
Dude, you keep bringing that up, but that wasn't the best live chat that we've had
I know.
so far.
I'm not saying it was bad. It was great. Whenever Walsh isn't here, we can talk about whatever it is that we want to talk about.
So polyethylene is a relatively new material that's being used in lightweight plates. There's a lot of stuff that polyethylene does extremely well. And there's a few important things that polyethylene does that is absolute ass. And the plates, there are a couple manufacturers that make plates that are a 100% polyethylene plate. You should avoid those at all costs. So what polyethylene does extremely well is it's really, really good at catching high velocity soft projectiles. So it will do a good job if you're shooting like ball ammunition into it. It's going to catch pretty much everything. It doesn't matter what the caliber is or the velocity up to a reasonable limit. But what it cannot do or what it's terrible at is if you have any type of a penetrator, if you have any type of a steel core, mild steel, anything like an M855 or an M855A1, any API BZ rounds, anything that is along those lines, which are extremely common. Like M855 is like some of the cheapest ammunition that you can get for your 5.56 gun these days, depending on what you're purchasing. So if you have a full poly plate, it's going to be super light, it's going to be buoyant, it's going to be super comfortable. But if it eats an M855 round, it's literally zipping through that plate and through you and through the plate on the other side, and it's gone. So poly is just short for the like ultra high molecular polyethylene or whatever the what's the word I'm looking for?
MW, the acronym.
The acronym, yeah. So I'm using the expression for Garen. I'm just using the expression poly to explain that. So pretty much all good plates or plates that I would recommend need to have some sort of a strike face in them, which is predominantly going to be made out of some form of ceramic. And then like how expensive the plate is going to determine how light that ceramic is, and then what that ceramic is capable of stopping. So like. Yeah. And then cool, if it's backed with poly, that's fine. Like that's not an issue, but you need to have that material that breaks up the round first so that the material behind can then catch that material. So
there you go. Ultra high molecular weight polyethylene.
Yeah. And so it's poly in itself is not necessarily a good or a bad thing. It's proven to be a very effective material. Most of the super high-end helmets that you're going to see, like OpsCore helmets, like Fast SFs, they use poly instead of like traditional old school Kevlar. But it's traditional Kevlar backing and poly are both going to have their own strengths and weaknesses. I don't necessarily think one is better or necessarily worse than the other. They just do different things, and they both do different categories really, really well. So I wouldn't even necessarily pick a plate exclusively on whether it was poly or not, more on that it has some sort of a strike face to it that's actually going to be acting to break up that round before it's being caught by whatever the backing is. And then honestly, I don't care what the backing is. But yeah, that's basically the we'll do the super crash course on, what do I think about it.
We got a couple other questions in the chat about plates, but I saw a video recently because we've always been very anti-steel plates.
Yeah.
And Tacticon had a video with like whatever coating they're using on their steel plates now. I want to say they dumped like 30 rounds into it, 5.56 rounds, and it caught everything. So the whatever material they're using to coat, is that just getting better?
No. So it's super easy. It is not difficult to how do I word this? If you take, I want to say this as nicely as possible. So the bottom line is this: friends don't let friends buy steel plates and use them in any real capacity. And it's not that steel in itself, or like in some cases, like titanium has been used for specifically for super low profile plates. Like Velocity Systems has manufactured plates that were made out of titanium. But what it really boils down to is nothing that Tacticon says matters, and it's going to be some skewed version of information that you're getting that is they're there to sell you a product, and their name is literally Tacticon. Like I don't.
Shinobi wrote Tacticon.
Yeah. So it's without being too much of a dick.
That's
it's,
okay. Yeah, we get it.
I'm not taking anything that they have to say super serious.
Michael Barty says, "Oh shit, we're spiraling off into plates again."
Yeah, it started early. I tried to stop it, but we're in it now. So the long and the short of it, though, is I don't care what type of coating you put on the steel. The issue is that the reason why ceramic is used is because the ceramic is not so hard that when the round hits it, that it shatters along the strike face of the plate. It's just hard enough that when a round hits it, that it breaks into the ceramic, and it will cause the ceramic itself to break somewhat. But if you have a material surface that is so hard that it causes the incoming cartridge to strike into it, it will spall in every direction. I don't care what type of coating you put on that. It's going to, in a very, very short period of time, like 1 to 2 rounds, it's going to completely shred that spall coating, if it even lasts that duration of time. Yeah. And it's not uncommon for the first round impact on those plates to spall enough that if you were wearing that and then the spall sheared off from it, the issue is that the location where that spall shear is going to happen is going to come exactly perpendicular to where that plate is. And if you're wearing a plate, I just casually have this. If you're wearing a plate and it's against your body, okay, the perpendicular surface off from that is going to go into directions of shit that you do not want pieces of metal in, which is basically your face, your neck, and then most likely as well your arms, because they're almost always going to be reached out from your body in a circumstance where you're going to be where you were getting shot.
And your groin, that's reaching out from my body all the time too.
Sure, if you're seated in a vehicle, man, you're gonna have a bad time. So it's one of those things that, like, it's so easily avoidable. Like, just don't buy steel armor. Like, it's not like ceramic plates are like ungodly expensive, and like you can get, like, again, you could buy those contract overrun plates for $100 a pop, and like they're a ceramic plate, and like they're gonna stop the rounds. They're gonna do everything that they need to stop the rounds. So there's just no excuse to continue pushing it other than it has substantially higher margins, steel armor does, than ceramic armor does, and because of that, there are lots of places that are willing to tell you basically anything, so that you will continue to buy it. I mean, how many ranges do you go to where you can't even shoot steel within 50 yards if it's rifle, and then like minimum of 10 if it's pistol? Right. So like we call that a clue. Like if you can't be within 50 yards of it for safety, it's probably not a good idea to wear it on your body and then try to use it to stop incoming rounds. So so it's one of those things where if you had nothing else, like, okay, I guess. But like I have a really short list of like things that you should absolutely avoid. And so like steel plates is on there, single curve plates is on there. You should, under no circumstances should you ever buy a single curve plate. You should always buy a multi-curve plate. If you buy a single curve plate, it's going to be uncomfortable, and you're not going to be comfortable in your carrier, and it's just going to create problems for you. And then everything else is like not a non-starter like those things are. But single curve and steel, those are my like absolutely not, like, avoid at all costs, do anything except that categories for things.
Garen Wilson says, I'll just wear a turtleneck sweater and a scarf to protect my neck.
Yeah, you'll be fine. Or for just a casual Kevlar turtleneck.
I have single curve plates.
Sam Resendez said, you can get Joe talking
lots
about
of people have single curve plates.
Yeah.
But
I was cheap, and multi-curve were expensive when I was buying mine, and I don't know. I kind of like punishment, I guess.
Yeah, it's not that you can't use a single curve plate. You can. It's that you're going to have a substantially better time in a multi-curve plate. So a
Comfort
vast
wise,
majority, 100%. It exclusively comfort. It has absolutely nothing to do with like the ballistic protection, or it's going to be better for you. Yeah, from a performance aspect, it is exclusively if you put a single curve plate in any plate carrier, it's going to be not a little bit. It's going to be massively more uncomfortable than if that same plate carrier had a multi-curve plate in it.
Good thing I don't know no better.
So that's all. And it basically is one of those things that like usually it's the first plate that people buy. Like the first plates that I ever bought when I was 18 years old were single curve plates, and they sucked, and I didn't know that they sucked. I thought they were awesome.
Yeah.
And
so I've ever had.
Yeah, like it was great. And then the first time I got a multi-curve plate, I was like, holy shit, I'm dumb. I was like, I have made mistakes in my past that I need to rectify. And so for people who are starting out, for people who don't know, that's kind of why I harp on it so hard, is that if we can just skip that step, if we can skip that rung in the ladder and help people to guide them to just going straight to a multi-curve plate, they're going to have a substantially better experience in general. And again, it's not that you can't use single curve plates, and it's not that you can't use steel plates. They are just my like, if you want to have a good time, don't do those things. They are the cheat code to having a better time.
Unless you're my adversary, then I will issue you steel plates.
I mean, I would rather shoot somebody who is wearing no plates than shoot somebody who is wearing steel plates.
No,
but
I'd rather shoot somebody with steel, because what we call them walking claymores. And I just hope that they keep walking. And what you said right off the rip is, friends don't let friends buy steel. That's because it's their life that's going to be taken.
Yeah. I suppose the logic follows. Friends don't let friends buy steel, so friends let enemies buy steel. Fair.
Yep.
Ryan Blaze, what's up, guys? What I miss?
Ryan, we've devolved into plates in
we're talking
8 minutes.
What? More importantly, what haven't you missed? You haven't missed 2A News, because, dude, I'm telling you, I've never been so excited for 2A News.
Yeah.
So just hang tight another 30 minutes.
Say, you can get Joe talking about his Camaro. You can. And Zach Fett said the new Scout is just a rebadged Rivian. I don't know what that means. I'm sure Joe does.
It's a vehicle and a Rivian electric. You haven't heard of the Rivian, the pickup truck with the weird ovals?
No, with the Scout.
Yeah,
I'm thinking of like an International.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about.
Okay. All right. 1911 Drew. Dan, what are your thoughts on HESCO plates, specifically the special rifle rated?
Yeah, so HESCO. So HESCO's kind of a can of worms, because depending on what circles you're in on the internet,
I feel like every plate company we talk about is a can of worms.
Yeah, a little bit. Some of them are. LTC's not. LTC's great. Everything about LTC is great. I like everything that LTC does. They're not a can of worms. HESCO, depending on what circles of the internet you're in, they are they get a lot of shit talked about them, and I don't agree with it. So there are a few. I'll put it like this: there are a very, very few, a small number of very, very large armor sellers who are third-party sellers who want to exclusively dropship armor. So they don't actually carry any inventory, and they don't have any interest in doing any customer service. They're there to just have a website that you order something from, and then they send an order to the manufacturer, and then the manufacturer sends you the shit. And there's one in particular that I'm not going to name that has spent a ton of effort shit talking HESCO armor and trying to come up with reasons why HESCO is bad. And they sell things like HiCom and LTC and otherwise, and they're trying to say that you shouldn't buy HESCO because they're bad and these other ones are good. And that's horseshit. That's a pile of shit. HESCO is an extremely well-known and reputable brand in the United States. They manufacture high-quality armor. They do a huge amount of testing. if you have any questions about HESCO, I mean, T-Rex Arms did a video not very long ago where they went to HESCO and they looked at their testing processes for how they manufacture some of their plates. It'd be a really good place to go and educate yourself about what it is that they do to internally test the armor. But I have no problem running HESCO plates and trusting my life to HESCO plates. I have lots of HESCO plates. Now I have plates from other manufacturers too, but like in my category of these places are absolutely good to go, and I would trust the things that they are selling. It's basically HESCO, LTC, Integris, HiCom. Like those are all places that like pretty much anything that they're all United States manufactured product. Anything that you're going to buy from them is going to be either NIJ certified or it's going to be NIJ tested, and it's going to be manufactured to a standard that they maintain. And they're consistently testing. So it's not something like where they just like, we made it and our test batch made it and did this, and then they just make 1,000 of those plates and then never ever test during the process of manufacturing. No, they do extensive and continuous testing on all of their products to make sure that they are meeting a quality standard. The special threat plates from HESCO, I think, are just as good as special threat plates from anybody. They're kind of a weird gray area where if you're going to trust a special threat plate, you're not trusting the special threat plate, you're trusting the manufacturer. So all a special threat plate is it's a plate that doesn't fall into one of the fairly rigid categories that the NIJ tests for level 3 or level 4 or whatever. And so if you make a plate and it's capable of stopping, certain things, but maybe it's not capable of stopping, a full power 308, and so it's not quite a level 4 plate, but it falls kind of in between. A lot of times it'll end up being a special threat plate. And that's I personally run a set of U10 or U210s, which I think are outstanding as far as special threat plates go. They're, you could run them with a soft armor backer behind them. You're going to get basically level 4 protection, not quite, but without the soft armor backer behind them, they're like a 1/2 inch thick plate. They're like between 4 to 5 pounds for each one, and they're going to stop M855, M855 A1, API BZ, and then basically any steel or any ball ammunition that you could throw at it. So they're extremely light, extremely thin, extremely low profile plate that does a lot of really, really good things. So like all of that to say, don't hesitate. Now, everybody wants to buy not the what is it? It's not the T-Rex Arms ones, are what the T210s or T211s.
I thought they were L210s.
The HESCO ones, the HESCO branded ones are L210s, L211s.
Okay.
The T-Rex Arms is making their own white branded plate, which is a T211. Again, the only thing that I don't like about that plate or those particular plates is that they're single curve. If you go to an M210, yes, it's a little bit more money, but you're then basically getting the same protection out of it, but you're going to a multi-curve plate, and it's worth it. Like, to me, it's worth the extra money to do that. And then U210s are expensive. U210s are an expensive. Agilite white brands from HESCO. HESCO white brands for a lot of places that people don't know that they're getting HESCO plates and they're getting white branded from them. But that's true for a lot of armor. A lot of armor is just white branded armor. The most of the places that are selling armor, that it's their own brand of armor. It's not their own brand of armor. It's coming from one of the major labs that manufacture stuff.
So I'm gonna get us off plates for a little bit.
Oh, thank God.
So Ryan Blaze asked, Jason, did you get the package sent out? I did. All the winners that we had for our giveaway, and I think everything else that I've owed people is out. So Ryan, I did reply to your email with UPS tracking. I just checked it. It's supposed to be delivered Tuesday the 11th between 10:45 and 1:45. So you should get that. And then Garen Wilson has asked, what's y'all's opinions on MEPRO? It's an optic company. Bailey said, have a friend who works for IWI. They own MEPRO. He refuses to own a MEPRO. That should tell you everything you need to know. We stopped by their booth at SHOT Show, and I wasn't particularly impressed with anything that they had on there, but I've never owned one, so I can't really talk smart about it.
Honestly, like I'm stuck on kind of one brand for right now. We'll see, because they have everything from really, really good, cheap to really expensive. I've never used any of the expensive stuff. I'm cheap, but that's Athlon.
Which one? Oh, Athlon.
Athlon,
Yeah.
Dude, they have like 8 to 34 power for under $500.
Is that the one that you
Dude, I bought
took
two
out
of
to
them.
1,000 yards?
Yeah, and then I liked it so much that I bought one for the 6.5 all the way there at the top. That's what's on it. Yeah, the BTR or something like that. I think I got it on sale for like the first one for like $380, dude.
Yeah, the Prepared Scotsman. So Dan, this gentleman is in Scotland. Says, guess who can't sleep again? Well, welcome. Glad to have you here.
Come on down.
Welcome to Central Time.
Yes.
It's 9:16 p.m.
Let's see here. I'm tracking. So Andrew, let's see here. Your package should arrive. Let's see what UPS says. Oh, same day on the 11th. He says he's pumped to receive his swag pack. And Andrew's commenting from Rumble. Hell yeah. Just a reminder, if you guys, for whatever reason, you're on here and for whatever reason we're not on YouTube, we are also going live on X and Rumble. Croak says Mepro is the OEM for IDF. They're good if you're in Israel and have to deal with embargoes. 076. Garen, I love my tactical mailbox, aka Huey, but it's just an EOTech knockoff. I think that's the Vortex Huey. I saw someone else comment above. Let's see where I can find it again. Oh, Bailey says, for a rifle, try a SIG Romeo 4X Pro or the new Holosun rifle optic they released at SHOT Show. Is it that SRS, Bailey?
No. Are we talking red dots or are we talking optics?
Red dots.
Then SIG Romeo 5, dude. Like, I don't know why you buy anything else.
Yeah.
Unless you just want to be different, I guess.
Garen has a Gen 2 Huey on his AK. Isn't that thing? It seems like that would be big. I got an AK up there. I forgot what I have on that. Romeo 5, I think.
Yeah.
So, Dan, do you geek out about guns and optics and
for sure
other stuff in the tactical world, or is it just plate carriers and plates?
Yeah. So I don't know how I ended up exclusively making gear, but yeah, all of this stuff. I guns and optics and otherwise. In fact, it's funny because let's see, my first carbine. I'm gonna age myself here, but my first like 16-inch 5.56 gun that I built, again when I was 17 years old, and my dad had to buy it for me, was a Stag Arms Model 3. Because that was one of the few. So again, bear in mind, I was in New York State at this time. That was one of the few state compliant ARs that you could get where it could actually come and it met all of the criteria to be able to be sold in New York State at that time. And that gun got a EOTech 512. That's how old I had an EOTech that took AA batteries. That's how old I am.
I still have that. Yep, I bought it from
it. And it was awesome. Like it was great. I ran that for a long time, and I eventually upgraded to an EXPS, and I ran that for a while, and then eventually the Donut of Death I just didn't like it anymore, and it was too busy of an optic for or too busy of a reticle and optic for me, and I ended up getting a T1. This is before T2s were out. And I basically exclusively ran T1s and T2s on all of my guns that are basically like CQB guns, up until very recently, where I picked up a EXPS 3-1, which is just the single dot EOTech, and I am going to switch everything back over to those.
Oh, really?
Because it's the simple, clean 1MOA reticle I'm all about, and then the ginormous window is fantastic. And I don't have any problem with my aim points. I broke a T2. I might be the only person on the planet who's broken a T2, but I had one that shit the bed and I had to send back and they had to replace. Which I don't know anybody who's had that happen to a T2. That like their whole shtick is that they're just like indestructible. And they just run, and they're like, you just get it, take it out of the box, and turn it on. And you just leave it on forever until the end of time, and it's fine, and it'll just run.
Larry Vickers. I saw a video where I think he shot Tannerite. Like he put the gun, a Daniel Defense with the T2 on it next to Tannerite, shot it, and he dropped out of a helicopter too.
And it lived.
It lived.
So
like, I think the zero was off, but it still worked.
All of my guns that are like CQB type guns used to have this. Should I not show this?
Yeah,
no.
Don't show that.
Don't show it? Oh God.
No.
Okay.
Don't show it. You can talk about it.
Can I show that?
I don't know. That might get us nuked on YouTube. Any handling
they're
of
on your wall. What?
I know.
Yeah, they're not handled.
It's the handling of it.
Oh God.
So
all right, never mind. You guys don't get to see my stuff. Never mind.
That's
fine.
Yeah. If for whatever reason we get nuked on YouTube, it's 100% Dan's fault.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
It would just be for this video. It's not like our whole channel.
I like how you're frantically reaching for your mouse. Like, how do I close?
Yeah, I was like,
where do I send him into the?
How do I remove him from the scene? Yeah. AR Drew says, not a problem on Rumble. I know.
True.
We just have so many people on you. A vast majority of you guys are on YouTube. Michael Farley, they're like strippers. You can look but not touch.
Yep.
Yeah, we had there was a video Swamp Fox I think was doing, and their whole video got nuked and they had to do it again and just like point to the guns like that has an AEMS on it. And that one up there has a Romeo 5.
I'll be sure to anticipate the things that need to be talked about and mount them to my wall for next time. I'll make sure that I plan ahead accordingly.
AR Drew says, Rumble is like the champagne room in a really dirty strip club.
That's fair.
Zach Feck. On today's episode of TLD Live, Dan gets sent to the Shadow Realm.
Yeah. I don't even have a YouTube channel yet. I mean, I have one, I guess. I don't have anything on it, but
yeah,
we'll get that. We'll get that.
7 minutes, dude.
Joe's excited. So I don't know if you remember, Dan. At the 1 hour mark, we go into 2A news, and there's a lot to cover.
Look, I'm gonna be honest. Look, this is how excited I am.
You took notes?
I brought notes, dude. Whoa. That's how excited I am.
Tactical Java. Dan, you escaped. I'm also from behind enemy lines.
Yeah, dude. I lived in New York State my whole life until we moved to Tennessee in 2020. So it was do not recommend. Beautiful. Like, I'm from the part of the state, like, I grew up in a town that had like 15,000 people and like 250,000 cows. So like I was from a very rural part of the state, but it doesn't matter.
What part?
Do you know where Tully, New York is?
Nope.
Do you know where Syracuse, New York is?
Yeah.
So yeah, Syracuse is like right in the middle of the main upper part of the state, and Tully's like 30 miles south of the city of Syracuse.
I have a family around Saratoga Springs.
Oh yeah, it's like it's not close, but it's not like a billion miles away. It's but that part of the state all looks the same. So it's all the like Glacier Valley,
rolling hills.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's the only thing that I miss is the like it's just really beautiful there for like 6 to 7 months of the year when everything isn't covered in 4 feet of snow. But like the rest of the year, it's a really beautiful place to be. If I could like spend summers there, I would, because it's.
Tactical Java says, I know where that is. I'm south of Rochester.
Yeah, dude. That's not far. I used to have to go to Rochester for work all the time.
Maurice, it's like in California, we suck ass. I'm from California. I'm kind of like that, Dan. So I'm from a small little farming town, California. Growing up, there was about 600 people that lived in this town.
Yeah, it's a tiny town.
And hour away from any big city, like San Jose was about an hour away. Salinas was 45 minutes away. Beautiful, man. I love California in terms of the views. Just politics suck ass.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it has infected everything in the state. So, like, the politics of the city basically overrule the will of the entirety of the rest of the state.
Now you can explain to everybody else that wants to get rid of the what's it called? How important it is. The dang dude, it left my brain.
The what's it called?
Yeah, the what's it called? Where every state gets a number of votes. So when you win the state, the electoral college. Now you know why the electoral college are actually important.
Bailey Luke says, "You still live in a horrible state, Jason." That is getting fixed this summer.
Dang, you announcing that to the world?
I'm not saying where I'm going, but yeah, okay. I'm like, after the school year and the kids are out of school, my family is leaving this forsaken state. Yeah.
So everybody know, like, this was talked about on like Friday, and I'm like, okay, well, I got time to talk to Jason like throughout next week and Thursday after the live, and like, you know, like be conscious, be the devil and the angel on both sides, and make sure. Yeah, Monday hit, and no, I don't have any time.
I yeeted that.
He just like send it right off the cliff, dude. Like he just ran and jumped off the cliff, and I'm like, well, I hope he hits water. Good luck, buddy.
You're fair, Lieutenant. At least one dox per live. Yeah.
That's quite a standard. You got to dox a lot of people.
I know.
Do one for every live.
Something crazy happens almost every live. So yeah, I was messaging Walsh that one of the things that I want to do, which I can't do here because of the magazine ban. One of the first videos I want to make is get all of those sub $1,000 double stack 2011s and review all of them, like rack and stack them. The Tisas, the Mac, whatever other ones are out there.
Nice.
It's happening. It's happening. We're moving.
That'll be awesome.
I'm willing it to happen. We're 2 minutes early, but Joe is so excited. I want to get into this news section.
Dude, this is.
Hold on. Before you get into that, I want to talk about the law here in Washington that kind of pushed me over the edge to finally leave, to say we're going to leave. So Washington passed a law that if your kid commits a crime at school, or if a crime is committed against them, the school is no longer required to notify me as the parent.
Mm-hmm. They can keep it secret.
Yep. So
and why that's important? Because if it's a staff member, a faculty member, you know they're going to keep it quiet because that's how lawsuits happen.
Yep.
You know, dude. You know.
Yeah.
You know.
I was telling my daughter about it, and she was like, well, I would tell you. And I go, yeah, but I've worked enough sexual assaults, and Joe knows this as well, like investigative-wise, that not everyone tells all the time.
Yeah.
Like some people are really ashamed of it, and they're not going to tell.
Yeah.
So I was
if it's like the school that the transgender kid assaulted the girl in the bathroom and they got moved to another school and they never notified the other school, and then it happened again. Like how fast are a school going to sweep that kind of stuff under the rug, dude?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's your elected official. That's who you pay every day to go to work for the people.
Yeah. 076 says, if my kids fart in class, I know it.
Yeah, that's what it should be.
Yeah. All right, Joe. 2A news. Let's get into this.
Okay. I'm going to go from the least exciting to the most exciting. So, just so everybody knows, the Colorado SB 25003, that's a semi-automatic detachable magazine ban.
Oh yeah.
So pretty much every common gun. There are even Democrats on board like to shut that down. So I'm promising, or it's looking promising, more and more every day. The Democrat is Nick Henderson out of Pueblo, but he opposes the bill. So that's good news. Right now, I mean, you guys know me. I watch videos, right? Where I get the info. I think we're from Copper Jacket, but there's a bill going through right now at our nation capital that is trying to get constitutional carry nationwide. So all the carry law and all the, you have to have this license and everything else would then be void, which is really exciting. Obviously, that's probably never going to happen. But there is another bill that's trying to do reciprocity nationwide. So what that would effectively do, and if you live in the 23 or 26, I don't know how many states are constitutional carry nowadays. But if you live in one of those states, then you have constitutional carry across the entire United States because you don't need a permit. So, and there is actually a chance that might go through. So hopefully, all right. But then there are two cases where the federal government absolutely got fed their lunch. The first one, it's exciting. I think that people's rights were being violated. If you were the age 18 to 20-year-old, you could go buy a long gun, but you couldn't buy a pistol.
Yeah.
So why that was exciting to me, and because of how dumb and ridiculous the arguments were against the 18 to 20-year-olds and how the judge swacked the government on this. So there was two main, well, I guess three main arguments, right? So the first argument went like, hey, we're just saying that they can't go buy one. We're not saying that we're not restricting them. They still have, it's still applying to them. They still have the right to bear arms. And I can see that because technically, if me, a parent, go and buy somebody and gifts it to them, they're allowed to have it, right? I guess. And the judge are having none of that. They're like, no, you're restricting them from buying it, therefore they can't have it, type thing. So that one got shot down. And then they tried to say, well, hold on. The Second Amendment, where it says the people, we the people, or it says, right? That's how the Second Amendment reads. The right of the people. So, in reference to the people, they're saying that doesn't include 18 to 20-year-olds.
Oh, wow.
And the court came back and said, okay, well, look at the rest of the Constitution. And I'm summarizing, and I'm going to get some of that wrong. But there's like 6 other rights in the Bill of Rights that use the same verbiage. Mm-hmm. And so they started going through and like, well, does that apply to 18 to 20-year-olds? That they don't have the right for this? And I'm just going to make one up, right? Like they don't have the right to an attorney because they're not the right of the people. And then the court started swaying the other way, dude, which I'm sure got really scary for the government. They're like, actually, when we read them, we think that it applies to even people younger than 18.
Oh.
So I'm sure they puckered, like, oh no, are we going to allow 12-year-olds to buy guns now? Which would have been awesome, dude.
The way the world should operate.
Right. And in that, they tried to say history and tradition, which they couldn't point to it, and that actually bit them in the butt too, because history and tradition shows actually that 18-year-olds were required at certain points of our history to either be drafted, right, to put their name down on the registry for the draft, or they were absolutely part of the militia. And being part of the militia, whenever you showed up, you had to bring your own firearms. So the court actually pointed that out. And it was ruled unconstitutional. That keeping 18 to 20-year-old from purchasing a handgun was unconstitutional. So I don't know when that's going to change. We'll have to do more research on that. If somebody knows, throw it in. I haven't seen Croak comment, but he might be here. If you know, if it like like the brace rule, where now the entire United States, anybody 18 to 20-year-old can buy a gun. I don't know how that is, but that's really promising, especially because it's hard to find people with standing, right?
Yeah.
By the time that going to court, you're already above the age of 21, and you don't have standing anymore. So that was exciting.
The prepared Scotsman said, "The Second Amendment was written in the most basic way possible to set your rights in stone, yet your politicians come up with the most brain dead things possible. Like I said, never give them an inch."
Right. I agree with all of that. Okay. Now, for the most exciting point, and I'm sure like a good majority of people know what I was about to
Crook
talk
says it's
about.
just that circuit for now.
Okay. Yeah, that will be interesting to see that going forward. Okay. So I want everybody to start closing their eyes as story time. Okay. Imagine we're going to make the government the Wicked Witch of the West right off of the old Wizard of Oz. Green, long nose, pointed hat, right? So they get word that this individual is harboring a machine gun inside their house, right? So what does the government do? The government goes, they write up an awesome affidavit, they take it to a judge, get it signed off, they have a search warrant, they kick in the front door, shoot a dog, because that's what the ATF does, and they put the habeas corpus, they snatch that guy right out of a home and says, "You own this, it's inside your house, you're going to jail, mister. This is, we know that we put so many people in jail. Heck, we've even put people in jail for drawing something on a piece of metal. Not even having it, but drawing it on a piece of metal. You're definitely going to jail, Mr. Brown." So they haul him off to jail, right? Well, Mr.
Okay.
Brown got an awesome lawyer. And the lawyer goes, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, this might have worked in the old time, but we have new case law. So anything that you're going to bring up, I'm just going to warn you, and kind of thrown out, because we have new case law and we have to base everything off of that new case law. It's called Bruin. It's a magical thing. So let's go. Government. Now that Brown versus U.S. or U.S. versus Brown, if anybody wants to look it up, it was in Mississippi, and this is a district, I think, federal court. So this isn't federal court. That isn't like some podunk back hills, normal, the judge didn't know what they were doing. And there are a lot of great verbiage in this. So Brown lawyer says, "Hey, we gotta talk about this, right?" Huh? What'd you say?
So why's he got to be brown?
I don't know, dude. That's what Mama told him, or Dad told him that what his name was going to be, I guess. So anyway, so they're like, okay, well, Bruin said that this has to be based in history and tradition, right? So, please, government, point to the date where we have, based in history and tradition, told people what type of firearm they're allowed to keep inside the residence, let alone tell them that it can't shoot more than one round per pull of a trigger. So please point to the doll where it hurts you, right? And show me where that date is. And the government went like, well, we can't. We've taken guns away from people all the time. Like, look at all the times. And the judge is like, whoa. This isn't if you have the right to own it. This isn't him carrying it. This isn't him walking into a town and the sheriff going, "You gotta check your guns when you come in here," right? This was in his residence. This was in a home. You guys came in and snatched him out of a home. Where did history say that he couldn't have that in a home? They couldn't find anything, dude. Zero. They couldn't find anything. So then they're like, "Well, wait, Your Honor," with their big hat and their big pointed nose. "These are dangerous and unusual. You can't have this gun. It's too dangerous. And these are all the reasons why it's dangerous." And the judge was like, "Okay, I see that it's dangerous. I mean, all guns are inherently dangerous. But there's a second part of that. It says, and unusual. The defense came to me and said, hey, there's 740,000 of these in circulation, and you, government, didn't give me any information. So we're going to have to go with that number, that there's 740,000 in circulation, and that proves that they're not unusual. So Now you went into somebody's house, you grabbed him and a property, but yet it's not based in any history or tradition, and it's not dangerous and unusual. So why are we here? Why can't he have this machine gun?
So really quick, Joe.
Yeah.
Michael Farley says story time with sovereign citizen Uncle Joe is the best.
Yes, dude. So
you forgot to turn.
Imagine this. Imagine this. Okay, somebody has an unregistered, undocumented machine gun. I don't know in what form. I don't even want to look it up because I feel I'll be disappointed. I picture like a Tommy gun, dude. Like this dude has like a straight up Tommy gun with a 50-round drum. That's what I picture. It's probably not. Probably a auto sear or something like that. But in my mind, Tommy gun, right? Government freaks out, arrests him. Everybody in the country is like, oh, this dude cooked, this dude canned. There's no way of getting out of this. It was absolutely ruled unconstitutional, and he has a constitutional right to own that machine gun. That was the ruling, dude.
So
that was the ruling. How big is that, dude? Okay, so two things. Number one, that's going to open up a whole can of worms. Like, we're getting our machine gun. I have faith now, dude. You know, I'm kind of a Debbie Downer all the time, but I have faith now that we're getting machine gun sometime soon, dude. Sometime soon, we're getting freaking machine gun. It's going to be awesome. I was hopeful that it would be suppressor first, but it looks like machine gun win. But how awesome would it be? Like, I picture, you guys have seen the newer Walking Tall with The Rock, right?
Yeah.
Where he wins in court and he just walks up and grabs his 4x4 and like rips the evidence tag off of it and drops it on the table and walks out with a 4x4. That's how I picture only with a Tommy gun, dude. This dude ain't going to get to go back to the government and say, I'll take my machine gun back now, and get to take it home with no tax stamp, no extra background check, no blah bitty blah, no ATF involved, and he gets to keep it. Now, this was on face value, right?
It, man. Croak is going through it right now.
Croak says, man, almost don't want you to read my comment and bring Happy Joe down.
No, I'm not reading it. So I'm not reading it. So this was on face value, right? So they were saying that this is unconstitutional as it applied to Brown, from my understanding, right? So this isn't like now everybody gets a machine gun.
Oh, Mr. Brown. That's basically Croak's comment.
Yeah. No, this is on face value, not on. So it doesn't apply to everybody. It's not like the brace or whatever. This only applies to Mr. Brown. But that was the iceberg striking the Titanic, dude. That was it. Like, okay, it's going to take a while. Everything's going to flood. The ship has to break in half, but eventually it's going to be down at the sea.
In this analogy, is the Titanic the NFA?
Yes.
Okay.
In my opinion, yes.
And Brown is the iceberg? I'm confused.
Yes.
Okay.
No, you got it. Perfect.
Perfect. The Prepared Scots. I love how the Prepared Scotsman is like more in tune with our laws than some Americans are. He says that theoretically chucks the NFA into the bin, but par for the course. I could see that argument in the courts for another decade, probs.
Yeah, but I don't care. I've never been so happy for somebody I've never met in my life, right? Like, I've been happy. There was a story a long time ago. That kid, he was like 21, inherited the family farm. It was going under. He couldn't even afford the taxes on it, and he won the Powerball, right? And he got to pay off all the debt and keep the family farm. Like, I'm happy for that kid. It doesn't even hold a stick compared to how happy I am for Brown, dude. I'm so happy. Dude, like, please frame that evidence tag or send it to me. Yeah. Something, dude.
Maurice Barlow says, thank you, Joe. I want a saw and an M60.
See? Dude, no, 240 Bravo, bro. Like, that's exactly what I want. Here we go. Dude, I'm so excited.
That's so awesome. Excited.
Yeah. So, but don't take my word for it. There are two great video out that I watched. Washington Gun Law and Armed Attorneys.
Oh, Armed Attorneys. I like them.
Yeah, both of them did a video on it. Please go watch it. They explain it way better than I do. I know I'm a terrible storyteller. I'll work on it, but I got
AR Drew says this is the second time the iceberg has been hit, and I think I've heard that too.
I know.
There's another law where machine guns were ruled constitutional.
Unconstitutional, yeah. But I don't know what court that was. I wasn't tracking that one. I did. They did make mention of it in the video, and I need to do more research. But yeah, this is the second time it's been ruled that way, according to Washington gun law, which
Yeah.
I believe came very smart.
Yeah.
But man, this was in federal court, so the stuff is in trouble. And I think we see a change in the government here coming up because every time the ATF have been like, whoa, 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 you can't do that. We're going to appeal this. It's turned out very bad for them. I don't think they appeal this, dude.
Yeah.
I
Croak
don't
says
think they do.
James Reeves at TFB TV did a vid on it. He's a lawyer that's actually been in front of the Brown judge. So he's got a different perspective on it. That's interesting. I'll have to watch that one. I like watching gun law though. So I do have some good news on the Washington front as well. That's 2A related. That bill that had to do with insuring liability insurance for every firearm that you own, getting
Yeah.
25,000. That is dead this season.
Good.
Yep.
Well, at least you ain't got to deal with it until you beat feet.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm leaving in like 4 months, anyways.
Right.
Fingers crossed. All right. So now the question is, if machine guns were legal, Dan, what would be the first one that you would buy?
Oh man. Oh man, what a loaded question. I mean,
So
it's going to be a belt fed. So, because
Yeah,
like
that's-
otherwise, what's the point, you know?
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm going to be honest. I'm probably like maybe a 6-pack away from making bad decisions and buying a fight light and putting an FRT in it and having, you know, the machine gun at home. So, I don't know, but I mean, probably a 240 Bravo. That would
Yeah,
probably
dude.
be the
Yes.
one.
Dude, how can you not? Either a 60 or 240 Bravo.
They're
That's
too
the
good.
only right answer. So thank
They're
you,
too good.
sir. Thank you.
Uh,
Hey, I understand the nostalgia if you want to go 60 because, you know, Rambo, bro, you got, you know, one arm in it and just going off inside a cop station, but the 240 a better firearm.
Croak says, Joe, more wet blanket. Our new attorney general hasn't met a gun law she didn't like. Yeah, I mean, she
Yeah.
pushed for the red flag laws in Florida.
Yeah, and that's
She's
fine.
anti-gun.
Bring it, dude. We have the courts on our side on that one, so bring it. Because now it ruled one way, right? And they have to fight to rule it another way.
Yeah.
And the way that the law reads, I'm not a lawyer, but the way that the law reads is if they're in gray area or if they're unknowns or if it's a tie, it always goes in favor of the person. So good luck. They ice skating uphill. Good luck.
Garen Wilson and Bailey Luke both said MP5 SD. I've shot
Gross.
full auto MP5. I shot a West German full auto MP5 and loved it. I absolutely loved it. But yeah,
I
like
would
the
auto sear my 9mm CMMG before I bought an MP5.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, I've shot one. They're beautiful.
Michael Farley says a GAU 8 Avenger. GAU 8. What is that? I don't know what that is.
Hey, am I wrong? It's not the one from. It's not the one from. Huh?
It's the gun that's mounted on the A10.
I was way off.
How awesome would that be? It's the A10 cannon shooting like forearm sized bullets, fully automatic.
Yeah, that would cost a fortune.
Garen Wilson says a full auto FAL.
No, thank you.
Is that's a bullpup, isn't it?
No, it's a musket.
Is it?
Yeah.
The FN. Oh yeah. Is that what is that? 308?
Yeah.
Does it shoot 308? Goodness, that thing is.
It would be the range that's near me had they had an HK51 for a while that was awesome, very fun to shoot.
Emerson Chan says, "Let's be real. We'd all just drill the third hole."
Yes, that is true.
I think I would go for a BAR. I think I'd want a BAR.
Really?
Yeah, I've always loved them. I think they're cool. I think is it shoot 30-06? It's a BAR 30-06 caliber.
Yeah,
I think so.
Yep, they're 30-06. You can like get them converted and stuff, but
how cool would that be?
They're intended to be
full auto 30-06. What's a 240 Bravo? Is that 308?
308. Yeah. Okay. 762 by 51.
Robert first says it's 25 mm for my truck.
That'd be awesome. Can we put what was that one that I sent you? Can we put what was it like Bob's Plumbing on the side of your truck?
Yeah.
Dude, that was so funny. That's such a funny story.
Spicy Snafu is here. He says, I heard there were free suppressors in this chat. Can confirm? LOL. Crap. Walsh isn't even in here for me to troll. Dude, Spicy, you missed it. So Walsh got an email from one of the suppressor companies that came from the person that yanked his suppressors. Basically said that they're Form 3 in the suppressors back to the company because Walsh refused to come pick up the suppressors.
Polisai wrote it himself.
I was like, who? Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot. Polisai. That's the name for the FFL.
Polisai. From here on out.
Spicy Snafu said, I saw that Griffin had posted a comment on the last one. Don't know what the other company is. Anachoic. I don't know how to pronounce it. And Silencer Shop actually commented on Walsh's last video.
Yeah, dude, I'm so excited. Yeah, I contemplating getting on top of my stool and twerking while I told you the story about the machine gun, dude. Like,
I love that. So was like, oh, I feel bad. I don't want to like be a wet blanket on Joe. And then you're like,
I didn't get the drill. Excited. Yeah, I didn't get bust out the drill press and start going to town. Like, that's not happening. I get it, but dude, it's a step in the right direction.
With the nostalgia.
Just the fact that the ATF or the government has to hand somebody back their illegal, undocumented machine gun and be like, "Here you go, Mr. Brown. Have a nice day." Now. Yeah.
Yeah. What if I don't know how long this case has been rolling, but you know how it was when the agency that you and I worked with, like what if the ATF already chopped that thing up?
Oh, dude, they can't, right? They can't. We can't chop. We couldn't chop it up until after Yeah. And they haven't even gone the full gamut.
The prepared Scotsman says Joe's rocking half mast right now at the idea.
Dude, I'm telling you, I was like, what dance can I do? And I started thinking about Ollie and dancing, and I'm like, I'm just gonna twerk on my stool, dude. Like, yeah.
Garrett Wilson says a G36 would be nasty. For those of us that are joining, Joe just got through the whole machine guns are legal, at least for Mr. Brown right now.
Yeah, so he gets a machine gun back.
We asked the question: if you could go out and buy a suppressor right now, buy a machine gun, what machine gun would you get?
Yeah. I'm so excited.
I don't know if Walsh is watching. Walsh sent me a message on Facebook right now. He's like, I'm missing the live chat. I'm like, it's a good one. This 2A, I said, dude, 2A news is off the chain. Joe brought notes.
Yeah.
and was twerking.
Bailey brings up a good point. He says, if machine guns were legal, none of you will actually go shoot any more than you already do.
Yes, I 100% agree. I am just absolutely so sick and tired. Sorry, I'm saying sometimes. Should I change this? Are we good?
Spicy says, I'm editing the news for that exact story right now. So Spicy Snafu works for AR15.com. Says,
hell yeah, Spicy.
Time to go back to Adobe Land, and I've always wanted a PKM or a 1919.
PKM would be cool.
What's a 1919?
It was made in 1919, bro. Is that the one where you had to put the tube down into a bucket?
Oh, it's an old machine gun.
Yeah, it has a pistol grip on it, right, and a trigger.
Yeah. Yep.
It's the OG.
And it
The OG.
had a tube that went down into a bucket of water.
Did it really?
Yeah, I think so.
It says
I
it's
think
still in
that's it.
No,
service.
not 1919s. You're
Oh,
going older than that. The ones that
yeah.
had like the big heat shield that went around the barrel.
Yeah,
Those
it
are
was
the
just
ones you're
it was
talking about.
just
Oh, that's
solid.
yeah. That's the
1919s are like
1917.
they're like the OG Modus. That's basically what 1919s are. They're like the first generation Modus, but they're 30 cal machine guns.
How's that? Can you see
Yeah,
that?
yeah, yeah. My local gun range has a full auto one of these
That
that you
one.
can go shoot,
Oh, really?
which is
That's
pretty
the
nice.
1919, Joe. And
Okay,
then
yeah,
the
different.
1917 has the big like water cooler thing attached to it. The big
Okay.
cylinder, according to Wikipedia.
Yeah. The Maxim design.
Spicy. If machine guns were legal, I hope we'd get some extra ammo at work. Dude, that's something that I've talked about. Is if I was president, I wouldn't go like golfing wherever I want. I'd be going to Camp David, like break out the machine guns. Let's go to town. I can shoot all I want, and I don't have to clean up brass. That sounds awesome.
Sign me up.
Yeah.
Like that was fun. See you later.
Yeah. See you guys.
See you later, nerd.
I'd have shooting competition, and if you lost to me, you're fired.
How fun would that be, dude? You do a shooting competition with the Secret Service as the president. You couldn't
Dude,
have.
can
Like,
we?
can you imagine Biden as an 81-year-old doing a shooting competition with the Secret Service?
That'd be awesome.
But
Hey, I know we don't do politics on the show, but can we talk just a little bit on how stupid people are? That they're losing their mind that somebody, like, hold on, let's stop all spending because we think that we're just spending it everywhere. Oh, look, we are spending it everywhere. This is what we're spending it everywhere on. That's stupid. And people are losing their minds, dude. Losing their minds.
yeah. Oh, whoa.
Not because of what it's being spent on. They're losing their mind because somebody is showing what
Yeah.
it's being spent on and not giving the money out.
Yep. Changing the subject a little bit. Croak just said Florida governor just announced a tax holiday on 2A stuff this summer. Guns, ammo, accessories, basically 6.5% to 7.5% off everything.
Oh, we get no tax on it?
Yeah, like a tax holiday.
That's exciting. That's exciting.
Spicy says we covered that news story about DeSantis on the Wednesday episode. To be honest, I hope he unscrews his anti-gun positions this year.
Yeah. They have some stupid ones. Like, you can't open carry unless you're going fishing, camping, or hunting.
Yeah.
So dumb, dude. I live in a liberal state and I can open carry, bro. Like, get with the times, dude.
I was just going to say, I love that every time we talk about a state that Joe might move to and people bring up Florida, he always goes to the open carry rule.
Yeah, dude, it's stupid. I'm not going to move to a state that's more restrictive than the liberal state I live in now. That's pointless.
But you get magazines,
dude,
right?
I would. Do you know what I would do? I would go get my concealed. Well, if it's constitutional carry there, right? So I would put like a 16-inch AR, sling it on my back with the stock extended, and then I'd put a coat over top of it and walk around, bro.
But it's always hot there.
And cops, I wouldn't care, dude. I wouldn't care. I'll put a hoodie on and put the hood on top of the stock, bro.
Like it's concealed.
Yes. I'll be like, it's concealed. I'm constitutionally able to carry concealed. No, you can't see my ID. Get the hell away from me. Like, I'd be the armed fisherman, only I would be concealed, dude.
Croak says it's his consolation prize since he can't get the freaking rhinos in the state house to roll back old stuff or approve new stuff. All right. Well, we are. Holy crap, we're running out of time. Okay. The prepared Scotsman says, Joe, if it rains, you could get away with a poncho.
I'm not getting away with anything. I'm purposely doing it. Like, I would, dude. What if you just take a jacket and wrap it around the gun, and that's it.
Yeah.
And then just sling that.
Interesting.
I mean, it's not open, right?
Yeah, you're right.
Or what if it had a gun case that's shaped exactly like a gun, and then you sling that?
Yeah. All right, we gotta wrap this up because we're already over time. Dan from Dynamic Principles, thanks for being here tonight. Real quick before we close up shop, website, social media, where can people find more information about you guys?
Yeah, so mainly either on our website, which is dynamicprinciples.us, or the Instagram is really the only social media that we do anything on, and that's dynamic_principles.
Okay.
We have a YouTube page. There's nothing on it yet. Like, you can go subscribe to it. I'm going to start posting stuff like product videos and some more in-depth informational type stuff. I'll talk about plates there, I promise. And I can't help myself. And But for now, the most information you can find, like if you go to our Instagram, we have like hundreds of posts in there, and
Okay.
we do custom stuff and all sorts of stuff on there that's cool. So, yeah, those would be the main places.
And I think Walsh is working. I don't know for sure if Walsh is this Sunday might be a Dynamic Principles video on the Micro Molly placard. I don't know if
Might
that's
be. I don't know.
might be.
Might be.
Yeah, stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe. Joe, any last comments before we close up shop? Do you want to say a shout out to Mr. Brown?
Oh yeah, hey, dude, I'll be your friend. Reach out if I could get a picture holding your evidence tag, dude. I'll probably come see you. So just let me know where you at, man. Yeah. But no, dude, I get to go snowboarding tomorrow, so I'm super
Oh, nice.
stoked. Yeah.
Nice. Awesome.
Yeah.
And that's it from us, guys. We appreciate you being here. As always, we are here every Thursday night, and we will see you guys next Thursday. Adios.